I feel like some of these Faithless Looting decks, very powerful right now in the metagame, but I think they are one of the reasons that Amulet Titan is pushing toward the front of the metagame, is Amulet can, in a lot of ways, ignore what Scott's going to do.
Yeah, so basically Carl needs to have some sort of lightning bolt or something to that effect to take out an Azusa, or Edgar's just going to get out way too far.
Yeah, and even then, there's ways Edgar can set up so that that's not an option, right? If he just has a turn 3 Azusa and drops 2 lands, there's not really a counterplay to that game 1 from Scott.
Not particularly, no, but it looks like this is kind of what Carl needs to happen.
Okay, Faithless Looting, discarding 2 copies of Arclight Phoenix.
Close
you
game.
Can sell me on this.
Close
okay.
Game. You know what's better than
Ooh.
attacking for 6 on turn 3 from Edgar?
Emma, there's a Mana Morphos that Scott just put into the front of his hand. Hold on. This is... Let's see.
All right, so I'm no mathematician. We've been over it, but I like attacking for 6 on turn 2 way more than attacking for 6 on turn 3.
Yeah, Edgar's draw was a top-decked Sky Shroud Elf on turn 2. That's not going to race the best draws out of Is It Phoenix.
No, and then having another tap land over on Edgar's side means that he doesn't have an amulet yet either for one of his fast kill-you draws.
Mana Morphos from Scott, and he drew into Gut Shot. So that's going to be 3 spells and removing Sky Shroud Ranger. He discards, is that... I think he picks up a 3rd Arclight Phoenix if he can find a way to discard it. Gut Shot on the Ranger.
I guess I'll have to settle for
Just
undoing
2?
Edgar's
Just 2?
second turn and 6ing him.
Edgar down to 14. This is the way that Amulet loses the first game.
Is this a good turn?
Was
this a good turn? You're the Amulet expert.
Up.
Is this...
Yeah, you know, there are a lot of decks that do broken things early, and when you're Amulet, you just kind of watch them.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You just go, oh, yeah, just bring it.
I've had a lot of games where I play a turn 1, I'm going to lose the die roll, play a turn 1 Sky Shroud Elf, my opponent plays a turn 2 Devoted Druid, just kind of look at them and say, please don't. You know, I'm not doing anything.
You don't have to do this. There are other ways.
Now, here's that Azusa without a priority pass we talked about. Turn 3, Azusa, Ghost Quarter Bounce Land means that Edgar has 6 mana rolled up next turn, if it's enough.
Yeah, I'm not confident we just hit with these Phoenixes this turn and next turn, and a bolt seals it.
Or just the 4th Phoenix out of hand, if he has land drops.
Exactly. There are not a whole lot of things that Edgar can really do to get out of this without some sort of life gain off of a land.
Yeah, so if he's trying to race here, you can figure this deck is good for 2 points of life gain. This Primeval Titan should be able to get a Radiant Fountain. If it attacks again, if he gets another turn, it should be worth 4 more points.
It looks like we're also still in the Kabira Crossroads version out of Edgar
actually,
with the white.
He's now on a black splash. It's 4 Golgari Rot Farms here, with 3 Cranial Extractions in the sideboard.
I have always been a big Cranial Extraction fan.
I actually talked with Daryl, as he and Edgar worked on this for the tournament. They said it was very important that they were playing Cranial Extraction and not Memoricide because it's on theme for the Kamigawa deck.
Yeah, that sounds like something he'd say.
Right? We have Azusa and Tribe Scout. He said you absolutely cannot play Memoricide in this build.
Oh, yeah, that just makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Cranial Extraction was the first thing I ever traded a dual land for.
It was the chase card out of Champions of Kamigawa.
Yeah, Scry Magazine said that I got ripped off for my Taiga. I was upset.
Here is the Primeval Titan from Edgar. He actually has 2 bonus land drops this turn, so he may have a way, depending on what's in his hand, I don't think he can give it haste, but he can gain 4 life instead of just 2 here.
Mm-hmm. And there's also a chance that maybe he just tries to go a little bit grindier, bounces this Teleria West, something to that effect.
Yeah. If I'm in a situation, I think I'm pretty worried about these Phoenixes. Edgar went down to 8 on the last hit. So he gets Golgari Rot Farm and then Kabira Crossroads.
Right.
He has 2 land drops left, so we'll see what he picks up. And it looks like it is the Crossroads. So he goes to 10, 12.
That's 1 land drop left to you.
Well, now he has 1 land drop
exactly. Left. You got to put the pass behind you, Matthias.
All right.
We get with the times. He has 1 land drop left.
2-12 goes Edgar.
That buys him a turn, maybe. Possibly. Could be.
Is that going to be enough? There's 6 on the table, so a Bolt and a Phoenix. There's a lot of ways that Izzet can put together these last 6 points.
Faithless Looting and a bunch of nonsense flips the thing in the ice.
Okay. End step Opt, going to bring that thing in the ice down to 3 counters.
That's the start of some nonsense.
See what Scott can put together. Looks like a Manamorphose picked up that turn. That's always good for some nonsense.
Instead of Manamorphose, we have a Faithless Looting in Yard.
Okay, just a swing for 6, so no extra Phoenix this turn.
Oh, missing that 4th land means he can't flash back the Faithless Looting and also do other things.
Right. He does have, looks like 2 Manamorphose and 2 Opt, so he can, when we go to combat here, bounce the Primeval Titan.
Can you believe Edgar thought he was going to get to attack with this Titan?
I don't think he knows.
He
knows.
knows.
He doesn't think he's going to get to attack with it. Slayer Stronghold in his hand. That doesn't do much here, not with that onboard thing in the ice.
Do you think there might be a world where you let the Titan attack?
And then block and flip?
You block the thing in the and you flip on instep just to make sure there aren't blockers?
Oh, bad things happen when you let that kind of play go.
Look, that's true. But is it like, are we talking Slaughter Pact bad?
Well, I mean, he can get if you attack.
He can gain more life. He can gain
more life. He can also get engineered explosives and set it on 2 if he's really worried about that.
Yeah.
Because that attack will get, and plus Azusa will give him so much mana.
Yeah, bad things happen when you let people attack with Primeval Titan.
Yeah. Can Scott win while letting the attack happen? I think the answer is yes. Is it the right play? Probably not.
Whoa!
And a miss on Ancient Stirrings. I've had this happen before. That is not likely in this deck.
I am.
Wow.
Oh my.
Well, down now a blue floating. Yeah, the deck is more than half hits there. Salmon's just about 1% to miss.
This is why you're the math guy.
I think it's slightly more than 1, but not much. And goes to attack. Now Scott's going to start thawing that thing in the ice. Here's Manamorphose, making blue-green, and Opt. Might be blue-blue. And Lightning Bolt to pick up. Yeah, second Opt. So was blue-blue, transforms into Awoken Horror.
It's got to be pretty demoralizing for your opponent to scry top with a bolt while they're flipping a thing in the... Or scry top with Opt while they're flipping a thing in the ice.
And Edgar passes back. Cannot make the Titan again. A swing for 7 go by Carl. And the Bolt. Is it Phoenix? Scott Carl takes the first game.
Buttons it up. Fast Phoenixes are basically what decided that one.
Yeah, I mean, the turn 1 looting, discarding 2 Phoenixes, and it was game on.
Just a fair Magic card. Lots of normal stuff going on in the feature match area.
So let's look at the black version of Amulet Titan that Edgar has brought to the table here. You know, it was only the matter of time. We tried the other colors. It was originally a Teamer deck. Last week it was a Bant deck, so might as well make it a Sultai deck today.
Oh yeah, we're just really going on a tour.
Yeah. What's consistent about all of them is whether it's Abrade, Path to Exile, or Assassin's Trophy, they board 4 removal spells, and then they board a second card of some sort, right? So last week, I believe it was it Stony Silence they had?
Stony Silence, or
was it Rest in Peace?
And Stony Silence.
Okay, and then Sigarda.
Stony Silence and Sigarda were the other 2 white cards.
This week, they've gone for Cranial Extraction.
That's just kind of an anti-combo card. You want to shore up your Clan Ironworks matchup as best you can, and this is just one of the ways to make sure that you can take a card out of their deck before it ever comes online.
Yeah, in this matchup, it feels like the switch to black cards probably has cost them a couple points. I like Path to Exile more than Assassin's Trophy.
Right. Just being able to hit things like that is a little bit better. It also gives you some game if Phoenix were to have something like Blood Moon out of the board.
Yeah, and this is where I want to talk a bit about Amulet Titan in the metagame right now, because I think it's been a top 5 deck for about the last couple weeks. So, as someone I played Amulet a while for the last 2 years, and the list really hasn't changed too much. If you look at about 2 years ago, for the up until the last 6 months, Amulet was kind of a middle of the road deck, and I don't think it's that Amulet suddenly got broken. I think it's what happened is these Faithless Looting decks getting really good has pushed the metagame into a spot where Amulet got better. So it's like it tends to be good against Faithless Looting decks. And also these dredges, these Is It Phoenix decks are good enough that people just stopped playing land hate. Like Blood Moons weren't anywhere. Jund stopped playing Fulminator Mages. There's just a lot of things adding up. But that all comes in cycles, right? Amulet putting up so much results last weekend. We're going to start seeing this again. Blood Moons in sideboards. And out of Amulet, there's just not that much counterplay to Blood Moon.
Exactly. And the thing about Modern and the reason that we see things like Blood Moon, for example, Wax and Wane, is there are a few different axes that decks get to abuse something that's difficult to interact with, be it lands or artifacts or the graveyard, and you can only fit so much hate in your sideboard while still fighting against these fair decks. So when we see Faithless Looting become huge, what do? Put Blood Moon in your sideboard to beat Faithless Looting?
Right. And
no.
Blood. That's why, green-red land destruction. We haven't seen that deck in a good while now.
It's better this way.
Right.
It's better this way.
I mean, as an Amulet player, I completely agree.
If Amulet Titan's the other thing that comes out of the Hell Vault, I'm into it.
All right. Versus Live over on our channel here at the twitch.tv/SCGTour is our recent video series where some of the top players here on the tour and some of the commentators find their way into the playtest area to test out the current matchups in Modern and Standard. That broadcasts live every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
I like to go in to test my smack talk against other people.
That's an essential part of your tournament game.
Exactly. I've come up with so many things to call Ross Miriam. There's Loss Miriam when he loses, Cross Miriam when he's salty. It just goes on forever.
I've seen both those people before.
Oh, yeah. One time he had something stuck in his teeth. I asked him if he needed to go floss Miriam.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, he was upset. He was upset.
So being down a game against an opponent who's going to try to Blood Moon you is difficult, especially looking at Edgar's board. This is how you know the format got good for Amulet. He doesn't have Nature's Claims in his board anymore.
Well, there's kind of a point where he might just be leaning a little bit more into Assassin's Trophy and speed.
You don't have a swamp.
That is true.
No. I can tell you, by many years of playing Amulet Titan, I'll tell you, you don't really beat Blood Moon.
Here's the thing.
You just don't.
You get to, all right, picture this. They have Blood Moon on 3, right? But on your first turn, you play a land. Stay with me.
Yeah, the second one has to be Gemstone Mine.
Or it can be Golgari Rot Farm.
Not if I'm on the draw.
But you're on the play.
Okay.
He's on the play.
If I'm on the draw, if I just don't play any cards and hold up this Golgari Rot Farm forever, and if he doesn't have, like, a Dispel.
Look, we have a word.
I know how it works. It's just never... Look, I usually end up choosing the line of, this is ridiculous, and then I just lose to the Blood Moon.
Listen, I'm the type to just go, look, show me.
But then they do.
Look, I'm not in the booth instead of in the feature match area because they never had it. I'm just saying my approach here.
I am interested. So these big mana strategies. So Amulet Titan right now is really teeing off on the fact that there's not much hate for it. As people start to recognize the deck being good, I kind of expect to see Tron show up again. Tron and Amulet Titan have similar matchups, but Tron can beat Blood Moons.
Yeah, the mono-green iteration of the deck in particular is actually just super resistant to Blood Moon, right? They just Blood Moon you, and then you play a 5th land, and then a 6th land, and a Worm Coil, and it's fine.
Turn 1, Amulet of Vigor for Edgar.
You know what this is? How you beat a Blood Moon on the draw.
What, with Amulet?
Yeah, you play a...
Oh, this is so bad.
Plays a Raw Farm on 2.
You don't actually beat the Blood Moon.
You don't. I do. Edgar does.
No, you don't.
Edgar's 4-0.
Then you're going to wait until 8 mana to cast the Titan?
You're going to wait until 8 mana to cast the Titan.
Look, eventually you lose to the Blood Moon. It's just
Titan,
bogus.
And then you get 2 lands that untap.
Oh, we're Titaning for 2 forests?
Well, one of them's a Rot Farm.
Okay.
That's how you get to cast the trophy.
Okay.
I feel like you're hearing me, but you're not listening.
All right, no, you're right. This is my mistake.
How could you be so
This card's fine. That's how this card's fine. It's trivial to beat.
Look, we have it covered right now.
Okay, well, I mean, if we just have... let's see. Okay, so turn 2. Rot Farm, untap, make 3, Pact for Azusa.
Goodbye, floating
Here's
mana.
Azusa. 2 more land drops. We have Slayer's Stronghold and Colony Guard. Now, I have to do a quick check here. There's not Ghost Quarter in Scott's deck, is there? Because we're dead to a Ghost Quarter.
I hope not.
Or okay. Nope. Ancient Stirrings finds Boros Garrison. Scott's side is going to be Thing in the Ice. This draw a bit more reasonable than the last one.
I hate it.
Edgar paying for Pact here, going to now have 6 mana off that Golgari Rot farm. And that sounds like it's going to be a Primeval Titan. It is prime time. Now, he has both Slayer Stronghold and Boros Garrison in play, which actually means he can't give it haste.
Could he? No, he's already played all 3 of his lands for the turn. Right.
Yeah, you play one Vesuva so that if you have one of these pieces in your hand, you can get the other. As it is, I mean, it'll be fine. He'll get Teleria West and Simic Growth Chamber, transmute for a second Pact, and pass.
I think I figured out how we beat Blood Moon. We have a 6/6.
We just didn't Pact for it. Here's Manamorphose. That said, look, if he transforms this Thing in the Ice this turn and makes Blood Moon, Edgar's still losing.
I feel like somehow I'm on the anti-Blood Moon side of this, and that's just not what I saw coming, Matthias.
No, I'm tired of people being like, oh, Blood Moon's fine. You can beat Blood Moon. I'm like, no, you can't. It's just, you just lose, and that's how it goes.
I think you need some calm down time, buddy. We're going to get through this together. It's only one round. We'll be fine.
Let me tell you about a tournament playing this deck where I got Blood Mooned enough times that the next day I played Mono Green Amulet with 9 basic lands and 15 creatures in the sideboard and still lost to Blood Moon.
Yeah, because you were playing 9 basic lands in
They were
your
all
Amulet
forests.
deck.
They were all forests. I was just tired of losing to Blood Moon. And it still didn't work.
You played a Primeval Titan and got 2 forests, and they thought it was M11 sealed.
Yeah, it was just like a stack of Tireless Trackers and like an Oracle Moldion, a Corsair Crufix, and Titan, and Hornet Queen, and Tribe Scouts, which made green creatures. It wasn't as good. And I still lost to Blood Moon.
How do you feel about this Awoken Blood Moon horror?
All right, so Awoken Horror happens here. Blood Moon hasn't been found yet. He doesn't actually have the mana this turn.
No, but if you put the Titan back in hand and Edgar... Oh, Edgar's not on the line for a Pact, is he?
No, so actually Edgar's going to get to do things.
Yeah, I guess Carl only gets to attack for 7.
Right, Edgar down to 13. Because some of those were sorcery speed, he wasn't able to wait and do it on Edgar's turn.
Right.
Yeah.
Interrupt combat and just ruin things.
Yeah, because what you don't want to have happen is a Titan gaining haste. So if you wait until combat, then the most Edgar gets is 1 Titan. But he's got enough mana here that he should be able, with a bounce land in hand, to Titan and haste here.
Sure.
Now, I'm not sure he has the bounce land. Yeah, he doesn't. So Colony Garden will float a red. Okay.
I think Vesuva can do it up fine.
Vesuva can. He'll make Primeval Titan. Maybe he doesn't even have to. You see he's floating the red here. He's now just going to maybe find a Sanctuary or something else that makes white mana to complete the other half of that Slayer Stronghold.
Oh, this is nice. He gets to get Kabira Crossroads in order to pad his life total a bit in the process as well. This is nice. This is clean.
Yeah.
This is clean. I like this.
Yeah, their life gain land is a white source now, so... Advantage there of Radiant Fountain. This plays like that. Titan's 2-0 and haste and ready to attack.
A mana short from going in for the 16 damage shot.
We're looking for a few more people to begin our 3:30 standard challenge.
If at the beginning of Modern you had told me Sunhome was going to be one of the best decks in the format,
yeah.
I don't know what I would have thought. I would have been confused, though. I know that.
There's a time when this deck was still new. I remember trying to convince people that this was a deck you could play at a PT. We were at a testing house. Like, everyone was like, I think people were playing Jund, and then we brought this one out of the backpack. We were like, you're not actually going to play that, right? Like,
y'all,
what are these
listen,
cards?
I'm serious.
By the end of the week, I think about half the house realized that, yes, we were going to play it. And then the other half, but the half that didn't think we were crazy thought maybe there's something here, but I'm not going to play it.
Can you blame them?
No.
Because by the end of the week, they also had to figure out how to play it in a day.
Yeah, that had been, right, that happened.
Yeah, no, off it.
getting Vesuva and Teleria West. Vesuva copying Simic Growth Chamber, transmuting Teleria West for Slaughter Pact. That one has not been in the list for a good while. Was originally there in one of the original Amulet Bloom lists because it played with Hive Mind, and also Splinter Twin was in the format, so it was an important bullet. Since the banning of Summer Bloom, we haven't typically seen Slaughter Pacts in the deck, but now that with 4 Rot Farm, it's something that can be played again.
So do you think that might have been a premature concession from Carl, not checking to see if he drew the Blood Moon there? He
What it
definitely
shows-
pacted for a Titan there.
What it shows to me is that this is where the meta's at. Edgar, this is a line I wouldn't have mistake I wouldn't have expected him to make, to be honest, is that it's been that long since he's been Blood Mooned. Where
Sure.
like he's not, it's not on his mind of, there was a while in Standard where at Modern, anytime you saw an opponent play Steam Vents, you should just assume they're about to Blood Moon you. Just
Right.
every Steam Vents deck. Kiln Fiend would Blood Moon you. Storm had 3 Blood Moons in their sideboard. Like Mardu Pyromancer had like 2 Blood Moons in the main. For all Jund was sideboarding Blood Moons, that was really messed up.
Whenever Jund, there was like Eldrazi Winter when you saw chalices out of Jund and stuff. Whenever your fair deck is chalicing and blood mooning people, it probably means you shouldn't be playing that fair deck.
Right. Yeah, if he's not getting the 2 basic lands there, it's really showing that some disrespect for Blood Moon coming back in the format.
Sure.
Because that is the kind of game where he had locked up.
Exactly, and maybe there's a point where he just kind of thinks to himself,
Yeah.
I don't put Scott on Blood Moons.
If he has a Pact of Negation in his hand, it's fine.
Sure.
Now, granted, if he doesn't have Blood Moon on his mind, I'm not sure Pact of Negation is still in the deck. It's not particularly good in this matchup.
Exactly, you're not really trying to tag a Crackling Drake with it or anything.
Right, you're not getting into a counter war.
The only thing that really matters is Thing in the Ice flipping, and Pact of Negation doesn't actually prevent that.
Right. We'll take a look over at Scott's sideboard. The 2 Blood Moons, of course, are the big winners, but outside of that, there's actually not much he does in this matchup.
Not particularly. You could maybe make a case for Engineered Explosives on the play.
On 1?
Oh yeah, you just jam it on 1.
Okay.
It takes out the 1-drop creatures as well as the amulets.
It takes out whichever one he has.
Exactly.
But it is inefficient, right? You're spending 3 mana for Edgar's 1?
Oh, absolutely. Look,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's pretty. It's just something.
Oh, it's possible.
It's something to think about.
It's the kind of play that I see out of Jeskai Control a lot, because it's a deck that doesn't really use its turn 2 very much anyway. Mm-hmm. In this matchup, I'm a little more hesitant to do that.
Sure, especially with Scott on the play, there's even the point where that's just, even looking past the mana efficiency in terms of comparing what Edgar's doing to Scott's doing, Scott also just wants to spend 3 of his own mana developing his own plan. The way we saw him win game 1 was just having 2 Phoenixes on 1, or 2 rather, and an EE on 1 is not going to contribute to that.
Yeah. So some kind of on history of Amulet and Blood Moon. When the Amulet was first around, it actually had a plan to beat Blood Moon. This was back when Splinter Twin was a deck. It would play a lot of Seal of Primordiums, because that was really like you played this seal control game against Twin, because it was you can prepay for your answer to Blood Moon.
Right.
And it wasn't embarrassing to sideboard in, because not only did it kill Blood Moon, but it stopped the Twin combo.
Right.
So you can't really go for that nowadays, because all the decks that try to Blood Moon you, say Is It Phoenix, outside of the card Blood Moon, Seal of Primordium is a terrible card for this matchup.
Right, exactly. And it's tough to even know if, the way we saw Edgar playing that last game, Edgar might just assume Scott doesn't have it and kind of be at peace with Scott having it.
Stock Is It Phoenix does not play Blood Moon. This is a deviation that Scott's playing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and even if it does, in these matchups, you just can't afford, a card with 0 to 2 legal targets.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like, what are you going to do? Hope that Scott brings in an Engineered Explosives?
Yeah. but if you seal it, then Scott, I'm sure, is happy with that trade.
Look, I'm not saying it's great. It's a callback.
Yeah.
It's a callback.
Oh.
We're doing those. We're taking them back.
I thought that was the other commentator that likes callbacks.
What can I say? All I'm doing today is trying to fill Ryan's shoes. I'm watching y'all work together for like 2 years. I'm just trying to take the best parts and, leave the rest on the cutting room floor.
Ancient Stirrings here from Edgar, finding a bounce land. Scott with that turn 2 thing in the ice. We'll get to see a Blood Moon check in a second here. Does he have one?
What do you mean? Edgar has a forest.
Yeah, he is. Oh, yeah, you're right. It's
That should
my
do it.
mistake. He'll be fine. Here's Metamorphose from Scott. Finds looks like a Disdainful Stroke, perhaps? Or Metamorphose again. Thought Scours himself.
Faithless looting. Faithless looting. Faithless. Close.
Sleight of Hand.
Not close.
But he left up a red, so we'll see if he has a land to cast that Sleight of Hand. Do you hold this trigger, or do you just make a 7/8 and go to work?
I gut shot him.
All right, you gut shot them. All right, that's a bold one. He gut shots, pays the red 2, gut shot Edgar in the face, and hits him for 7, making a total of 8. No more lands here for... Nope, there's another land for Scott.
Well, it's unlikely that Edgar has a Titan this turn, so just
Yeah.
attack. Kill him. Don't give him the chance to do anything.
He can't have a Titan this turn. It's too soon.
Exactly.
Now, what he can have is a blocker, and here's Azusa Lost But Seeking.
30 standard players, please report to the event stage.
All right, Golgari Rat Farm. We have Blood Moon covered.
Standard challenge. Please
Yep.
make your way.
Yeah. We're beating the Blood Moon this time.
What is Awoken Horror if not a Blood Moon?
If Scott has nothing else, then Edgar can win this game. Yes, he took a lot of damage on that second turn, or rather that third turn, but Amulet is capable of coming back from this. End step a fetch here for Scott, building up to 3 mana.
Come on, Faithless Looting. Dump this Arclight Phoenix.
And Opt drawn here from Scott. He has Opt, Sleight of Hand, Arclight Phoenix. He'll start with Sleight of Hand. It's a red card. I think it's Lightning Axe.
Lightning Axe is not awful. You know, I was talking about Faithless Looting, you know, kind of jokingly there, but seriously, just having a discard outlet for this Phoenix is a big game.
Yeah, here's Opt as a second spell. So if he axes the Azusa, ooh, and there's the card. Oh, that's the fun one right there. It's like happening next turn, and it's going to be the end of the game because that's what that does. Here's a swing for 10. Edgar goes to 2.
Edgar actually kind of has his work cut out for him here.
Slaughter Pact. Oh, this is going to be fun. Okay, Slaughter Pact. Takes care. So Edgar goes to 9. Look, he's not going to lose to the Pact trigger.
Yet.
He can pay.
Just give it a second.
Yep. Super, super neat.
Look, Blood Moon is fun, and it is interactive.
Yeah, we beat it all the time.
I thought you're changing your story.
A swing here from the Arclight Phoenix. Assassin's Trophy takes care of it. Edgar had the trophy up. This is how little he respects Blood Moon. He just had Assassin's Trophy in his hand and trophied something, and now he's going to get Blood Moon.
6 is a scary life total, Matthias.
Look, I'm just saying, this is where the meta's been at. This is how the people are playing the deck.
You see Scott get the island, and do you feel your stomach drop?
Oh, I mean, this is just over. Oh, look, this card. Hooray.
Why wouldn't it be this card?
Hooray, there are no black mana sources in Edgar's deck. And he has he can't remove it. No, he just literally can't remove it. In his list. Can't get engineered explosives high enough to blow it up.
Listen.
It's cool.
Edgar is a forest away from Primeval Titan, and that would be the biggest thing on the table.
That's a 6/6 trample. You hope that that's good enough. He'll Pact. 4. Maybe if he has the forest, he can make a Titan. He has Reclamation Sage. Oh, he actually put it in his board. Okay. My mistake. He has it covered for now.
I feel like
I didn't see it there. All right. He's got a way to deal with it.
we may have over-exaggerated.
That's the one. All right. Let's see if there's another one coming. Ancient Stirrings from Edgar.
The rumors of Edgar's death may have been overstated.
And goes ahead and plays a Gemstone Mine. All right, stand corrected. This is when they always just draw the next Blood Moon and Blood Moon you again.
Oh. The best thing to mill and the worst thing to mill. It's called
That was
balance.
one card. That was
It's
one card away
balance.
from insta losing.
This is why whenever you thought scour and you need a specific card, you got to target your opponent.
Well, he did manage to bin 2 more Arclight Phoenix. 3 Arclight Phoenixes. Wait, that's 9 points of damage. Edgar extends the hand. Okay.